Mega Mike the Movie Man, welcome to my channel. We are here to pregame for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania that comes out this weekend. I'm super excited and pumped for this movie. So I'm going to bring in some awesome panel of collectors and just movie enthusiasts to talk about this movie and get you all hyped out there. But before we do that, make sure you grow that subscribe if you're visiting the channel for the first time. And Giant Man, punch that like and comment. And definitely marvel us with some super chats tonight. And then definitely check out some mega merch and memberships for exclusive content. So let's go ahead, not waste any time. Let's start bringing everybody out. This person definitely is a Marvel fan out there. Ben Buster, how we doing out there?
Hey, I'm doing well, Mike. How are you doing tonight, man?
I am doing great. You are ready to talk some Ant-Man?
Very small. About ready to talk about it, man. But it might grow throughout the night. So
Yes. You will turn it into Giant Man with these questions. All right. No stranger to the superhero pre-game streams. Let's bring out Benny, my comic book expert out there. How we doing, Benny?
I am doing well. Ready for this? Let's do it. Ant-Man 3.
Yes, excellent, excellent. And then bringing out somebody who was just on his own stream, the hostess with the most fun trivia night ever. We got Huck in the house. How we doing out there, Huck? Pulling the double stream tonight.
Let's just say I'm jacked up on my Hank Pym particles right now. So I'm ready to go.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
And then let's bring in. We got Jesse in the house. How we doing, Jesse?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you. Super excited to see this latest expansion in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited to talk this movie. And of course, the last panelist of the night, fittingly so, we got Last American Girl. But can we hear Last American Girl? Is she muted? I don't know. It's okay. Last American Girl will figure out the speaker situation. It's okay. We are going to go now see just quickly in the chat who is in the house tonight. We got Adrian here. Hey, Mega Mike, the movie man. How's it going? I'm doing great, Adrian. Thank you for joining in tonight. And then we got Huck, of course. Let's talk some Ant-Man. And then we got Craig. Hi, Mike and guest. So thank you all for joining in tonight. So let's get right into these questions. And our first question up here is, how do you feel about where we are at with the MCU currently? We just finished phase 4 here. So Ben Buster, how do you feel about where the MCU is at right now?
I don't feel very good about it. Well, like this entire phase was kind of meh. To quote Robin from Teen Titans, it's been very mid. It's been very meh. Yeah. It's been very whelmed. So yeah.
Whelmed.
Not overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just whelmed. Yeah.
Oh, I totally understand that. Absolutely. I think some of us will definitely feel that way tonight. But it's okay. We're going to change that with phase 5 here. All right. But Benny, how are you feeling about the MCU right now? We just got done with phase 4.
So I've always had that love relationship with Marvel, but through the first 3 phases, and phase 4 kind of just dropped the ball for me completely. And then I'm hoping that this next phase, with all the rumors that are going around for it, starts making my excitement go up. So let's right now I'm feeling decent. Let's go with that.
Benny, only at the decent level right now. My comic book
Only at the decent
person. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Let's go to somebody that's
Because of phase 4.
We got to go to somebody that's a little bit more forgiving of the Marvel movies. Last American Girl. Can we hear you now?
Well, can you? Hey.
Yes.
Okay. No, yeah, you're right. I'm totally forgiving of them because regardless, it's still a whole experience. It's still going to the movies, an excuse to go see something that, regardless of how great it is, it has production to it. It's a great escape to go see. Where's the universe? Who knows? And I think that's kind of what they're going for, in that there's so much pull from so many different universes and multiverses and quantum verses, too many verses. But whatever is going on here, this is the beginning of this is the beginning, right, of phase 5?
Yes, beginning of phase 5.
Beginning of phase 5. So I'm ready for whatever they've got coming.
So do you feel good with how phase 4 went
I
overall?
think it's a mess, and I don't think phase 4 ended as it should have. There wasn't that, like, I guess, big Avengers event how the previous phases have been ending. So it didn't feel like it ended. Like there was no definitive ending to it, which is why I'm so confused as to why this is the beginning of phase 5. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's like, do the phase numbers mean anything anymore? Because you absolutely got it right. Last American Girl. It's like, okay, we end with Wakanda Forever, and now we're on Ant-Man 3 starting things off. Like, where's the connection there? So I totally get that. Yeah, it's very confusing. But Jesse, what do you think of where we're at with the MCU?
In general, I love the Marvel movies and the shows. I love all the different stories. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens next. I'm particularly excited at the beginning of phase 5 just because I'm wondering how this one is going to fit into everything we've seen so far.
So you're still feeling that excitement for it. That's good.
Yeah, I'm still excited. I'm waiting for the big thing, but I'm still excited.
Oh, that's great. And then Huck, Ant-Man fan over here. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I do dig me some Ant-Man, y'all. It's Paul Rudd, man, who is so much to love with Paul Rudd. So I feel like if you're yelling in the back, it's literally that's how my daughter is every night when she's on the phone with her friends, screaming bloody murder. I have to check in and make sure it's not real murder going on. I feel like that it feels like this phase has been like just a bunch of really big movies that just kind of come and go. You know, like I feel like up to then it was all this building and building, and then it's just I feel like they've been like filler movies. Now some have been quite good. Like I love the Spider-Man No Way Home is probably of all of them that's my favorite. You know, which I think you have to wedge in there because it is part Marvel, right? But I don't think it hasn't kept that love going. And I don't know if it's because we're missing the big players. We're missing Captain America. We're missing Iron Man, Tony Stark. We're missing Hulk, you know, and things like that. And on the horizon is what we know of to be maybe some other really cool stuff. You got some young Avengers, but will those young Avengers be enough to keep us all excited? I mean, I like them, but it's not Captain America. It's not Black Widow. It's not, you know what I mean? So they've really got to charm us and make us fall in love with this new stage because they're putting their hopes in that Avengers. Because let's face it, Avengers is what the whole first 23 movies is about. It's about the Avengers, all of those things. So what is the next one? Is it a whole bunch of things? Is it the X-Men? Is it Fantastic Four? And is it more Avengers? And then they're just hoping one of them sticks to the landing. And the thing is, I love all of them. I love Fantastic Four. I read that growing up. So I want to see that succeed badly. So I am hopeful because that one is waiting for the wings and it's one of my faves.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, Huck, that to me, this was pretty much like your transition phase, right? We're getting to the new Avengers, which I really don't want new Avengers. I've said it before on my pre and post game. I do not want new Avengers at all. I don't want no young Avengers. I don't want no.
But it's always a rotating. It's always a rotating cast in the comic books as well.
I don't want it. I want the traditional Avengers, but I will take Fantastic Four and X-Men, and hopefully that can help out a little bit. But yeah, this seems like there was no plan for this phase. It was just directors kind of doing their own kind of passion projects and wanted to make their movies, but no connective tissue with them. And once again, we didn't have a lead up like Last American Girl, like you said, to a big event movie. No Avengers, nothing for us to cap off the phase. So right now, I'm on that level with it as well. I'm still excited because it's MCU. It's a Marvel movie. It's very promising, and we're going to get into all that. but I've just been hurt too bad by like Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from the screaming goats. I cannot get them out of my head. It's just like screaming goats all the time. But I will say Wakanda Forever was a step in the right direction, I think. That was at least an improvement. So I'll take that. But let's look at these comments. Let's see where we're at with everybody here. So we got some more people joining in. We got Hisham here saying, hello, everyone. Hello, Last American Girl. Good to see you again. We got Sarah Rivera. Hey, everyone. Looking forward to this. We got C. No Terrell tonight? Yeah, no Terrell tonight. But is Terrell a big MCU fan? C, you got to let me know. We got Hisham saying why Edgar Wright left Ant-Man 2015. See, I don't even know that. Somebody knows that. Let me know. I'm not sure.
I think it's creative differences.
Yeah. I think it was that.
Yeah, it definitely
by
was.
the time 2 came out, and when 2 came out, I think he was onto something else. That way.
Yeah, I think it might have been Baby Driver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's the one. Oh, okay, yep. Gotcha. Let's see. We got a C saying Shang-Chi was the best and only good movie from Phase 4. I think that was probably my favorite movie as well.
Yeah, mine definitely.
Yeah.
Agree.
Number 2.
Very
Number
good.
2.
What was your first, Ben?
Oh, I'm there with Huck. Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man
yeah.
by far was
Spider-Man was good.
my favorite one of Phase 4.
Yeah, that just hits you in all the Marvel feels, you know, because you got a great Spider-Man, some OG Spider-Mans who never quite got their sort of denouement, right? And then you got a little Toby closure, and especially some Garfield closure. You know, oh, that's such good.
That's
stuff.
fair.
Yeah, but now I feel like I'm waiting for Spider-Man 4. I'm like, we haven't heard any Spider-Man 4 news. I don't
That's
think
true. Yeah.
Let's see. C saying WandaVision was exceptional, but MOM ruined it after the fact. Oh, with
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Multiverse of Madness.
WandaVision.
I was like, your mom ruined it? Oh,
yeah, I'm like, that can't be right. Yeah, I did like WandaVision though. That was probably my favorite Disney Plus show. That one was quite good.
But you know that the catch with that is it was such a great show, but you really had to have seen that to really get her presence in Doctor Strange for it to be meaningful, really meaningful.
Yep.
Otherwise, it almost felt like an insert. Like, okay, here's this witch. She's got kids and she's sad. I'm like, yeah, you got to see the show to know why she is sad about those kids. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think didn't Sam Raimi say he didn't even see the show? Was that?
Oh, did he say that? Oh, wow.
He didn't see the show. That's why you didn't even have like Vision and Multiverse of Madness. Like the whole time, I'm like, where's Vision? Like, can't you be looking for Vision 2 at the same time?
Yeah, he's still there.
I was hoping that during that fight scene against the Illuminati, that's where Vision was showing up.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, that would have been real good.
And I think that's the only hard thing right now with, you know, Marvel and then Disney Plus putting out their shows is there's so much being put out. So if you really, really want to like feel everything, you kind of got to stay caught up with it. So you see all the different connections. Yeah, it kind of is a little too much.
It's like Marvel's like, you got to do your homework to be prepared for the next project, okay? It used to not be like chat. It used to be where you could just jump into any Marvel movie and you were good. You could pick up on everything, but no more. Let's see. We do got my mom in the chat here though, saying hi everyone. Got a lot of awesome Mega Mike. Yes, merch. Absolutely.
Look at Mega Mom merging out your store.
Gotta plug it.
Of course. All right.
Plug it. Yep.
To our second question here for our pregame. How did you like the first Ant-Man movie? So we're going to reminisce a little bit about some of the past Ant-Man movies now in preparation for number 3 here. But Ben Buster, I'll let you start this one. How'd you like that first Ant-Man movie?
It was a breath of fresh air when we needed it in there. I mean, you had pretty much, you look at the slate of movies up until that point, you didn't have anything like Ant-Man. Yeah, maybe you had a Guardians of the Galaxy was around there, but it's Ant-Man. You're like, okay, how is this guy going to fit in here? And going in, I completely forgot about Scott Lang as Ant-Man. Completely.
Yep.
before the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like going, okay, so how are they go fit in Hank Pym? I'm like, he's kind of a stuffed shirt kind of guy. I'm like, he doesn't fit in with the rest of these. He's like Tony's dad,
Yeah.
more so than anything else. I'm like, how are they gonna fit him in? Then they cast Paul Rudd. I'm like, that's a weird casting for Hank Pym. And then they're like, oh, Michael Douglas is playing Hank Pym. I'm like, oh, so Scott
Pretty
Lang's
sweet.
Paul Rudd. I'm like, oh, okay. And so with that, it just started getting me the ball rolling. I think they hit the nail on the head with the casting. I think it was a perfect casting of Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, and I think Evangeline Lilly is perfect as Hope as well. I mean, that's what got me drawn into this movie more so than anything. I hardly knew anything about the character going in, and it just made me want to learn more about him. Who is that man, and why is he pretty much this guy who's telekinesis with ants? Honestly, Pym is more that way than Scott is, but why? Why did they choose this character? And doing that research, I'm like, oh, I can see why. Mm-hmm. He could get into the sticky situations where no one else can get into. Yeah.
All right, Benny, what'd you think of that first Ant-Man? Did it match up with the comics pretty good?
Not really. I went in expecting Hank Pym because he was one of the founding members of the Avengers. So I was like, okay, it's gonna be a Hank Pym thing. But then, like Ben said, they casted America's sweetheart Paul Rudd, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be really interesting. Then they brought him in as Scott, and I'm like, wow. So when I watched that movie, it was literally a breath of fresh air, and they had a bunch of great actors. Like I really enjoyed Michael Pena and some of the other side characters too. So I really enjoyed it. I literally rewatched it yesterday just in preparation. And I was like, oh, this is still great. It still holds up.
All right, and then Last American Girl, what did you think of that first Ant-Man?
I totally agree with everyone. It's the cast that totally makes it. As soon as you got Paul Rudd in something, automatic classic. And just the way that he portrays the character, someone who is smart and funny, handsome, obviously, but he did such a good job, and in the way that he had, like at this point, it was when Marvel started announcing all of these random superheroes. When we first heard about it, we were like, Ant-Man, who the heck is that? Who came up with that? And now he's such an iconic, classic character that a household name as far as these Marvel movies go. So the cast is really what kind of brought this whole movie together, making it great, in my opinion.
All right, and Jesse, what do you think of it?
I definitely agree with everyone. The cast was amazing. It was a fun, lighthearted movie, also had its action elements and stuff. So I don't really read too much of the comics, so I'm just kind of coming into these movies just learning about it through the movies and the shows. But I did really appreciate some of the like cinematic elements they added to it, especially playing with scale. Because Ant-Man gets very small, gets very big. And they did that with the camera motion too. Like one of the scenes, I won't go into too much detail with the scene, but one of the scenes when they're fighting, I love how the camera's zoomed in. You see all the intense fighting, all this action going on. Zooms out, you see like the toy kind of being lightly tossed. It kind of adds to the comedic elements, but you're also kind of feeling like if there's almost two different scenes going on, even though it's the same fighting scene. So I really appreciated like those moments.
All right, and Huck, I know you're a big Ant-Man fan.
Yeah,
the first one.
I mean, I love the first one. I had a lot of people and friends and everybody. They all kind of, if you remember, kind of collectively crapped on Ant-Man out there. There's a lot of like people not jumping on board. And yet from the moment I walked out, I actually brought my daughter to go see it. It was just her and I. So it was the daddy-daughter day. And, you had the Cassie in there. So it was like that, instantly I was getting that little click with them because I have that click with her. And I just found it, like Ben, you said it, and Benny, you're saying like the breath of fresh air, and it was a smaller film. Everything doesn't have to be the world is gonna die at the end. It can just be one hero dealing with him being that one hero against one kind of crazy guy. And I love that Yellow Jacket was it was like the perfect little villain for Ant-Man was Yellow Jacket. And that guy was really great. And I love, was it Luis Guzman? Yeah. I've been doing the recaps of everything and that type of humor. I'm like, oh my God, like who did not walk out of that laughing and loving that? And of course, the eternal fountain of youth that, Paul Rudd drinks from. We got to find that sucker because like his wit and his timing, it was a perfect balance between that curmudgeon, like you're saying, of Hank Pym. Because Benny, I was the same way. I grew up with Hank Pym. I'm like, where's my Hank Pym?
Yep.
I wasn't even that familiar with Scott. So for me, it was a super fresh take completely because this isn't even remotely the Ant-Man I know, but he's connected to the Ant-Man I know. So passing that down and giving him sort of passing the torch and watching that, I mean, it was really, really entertaining. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And I love Evangeline Lilly to see her on the big screen. That super excited me. My only drawback is I'm like, why isn't she the Wasp? Like I was waiting for that moment in that movie. Like I didn't want to wait till the second movie. When she opened the door and saw that suit, I'm like, put it on. And then, it goes in credits. Like, but I was just glad that she finally got the suit.
Yeah, like you were mentioning, Huck, I love how it was different than those other MCU movies. They just went with their own thing. I loved how it was like a heist film at the end of the day, and it was just fun. Like, keep it simple premise, and it did it perfectly. You guys all mentioned the cast is great. I mean, Paul Rudd never ages a day. He still looks the same as he did in Clueless. I mean, absolute amazingness, like you all were saying. But yeah, it was just a fun movie. It balanced action well with comedy, and I think Marvel needs to get back to doing that. Sometimes their stuff is way too comedic, like Thor: Love and Thunder. I think Ant-Man, this perfect amount of comedy sprinkled in there, and I love it was a redemption story.
Exactly.
Scott Lang, that was fantastic, and he was always trying to do the right thing too. He just wrong place at the wrong time. It always seems to happen to Ant-Man. He just has the worst of luck ever, but he's always trying to do the right thing for his daughter and all of that. So I really like that story. And like Jesse, how you were saying with how it's filmed, like you would zoom into the fight and it's all like an epic action scene, but then you zoom out and it's just like Thomas the Train flying by. Like that was such a great moment. So very entertaining. So I really enjoyed Ant-Man. It's just something different than, like you said, Huck, world-ending type of MCU movie, which I love, but sometimes we need something different, like a palate cleanser, as you will.
I don't think you can sustain that in every movie. If you keep doing that, that's where the fatigue comes from. Like that's kind of what got me down with Wakanda Forever. At the end, it just ended up being one giant MCU CGI fight again. And I was like, I literally kind of tuned out. I was like, yeah, it looks nice, but I absolutely tuned out. So unfortunately, Quantumania looks like a big CGI fest.
Which we will get to. We will talk about that when we get to talking about the trailers. But let's go to, sticking with kind of that same type of question here, but we're going to talk about how did we like the second Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Huck, we finally got Wasp in there in the suit. So I'll have you start off, Huck. How'd you like Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I loved it. Look, it was so great. I mean, it was a step up. Seeing Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp was a dream come true because I was a big Avengers fan. Like my two favorite comics growing up was the Avengers and Justice League because when you started running out of money as a college student, you got the book with the most heroes in it, right? So you got your more bang for your buck superheroes. So, and it was like the Palmer age, when the inker, I mean, I was just such a huge fan of Janet Van Dyne, especially when She-Hulk came in and she was a member of the, like Ben, you were saying, it's a rotating roster. I don't mind a rotating roster if you bring in the big guns and not just young Avengers. Young Avengers sounds like you're making up new people. But, I don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah.
But the Wasp, I love seeing her in there. She was absolutely what I was waiting for. And her presence just makes me smile. The villain, I like the villain. Are we talking about villains? We're just talking about the Wasp. Talking about the Wasp. All right, I'll just stop there. I like the Wasp. Yay, Evangeline. All right, next.
All right, Jesse, how'd you like Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I enjoyed it. I think I always enjoyed the first movies a little more than the second ones. So I think
Yeah.
I kind of did like the first Ant-Man first. Maybe it's because, you're getting to know these characters through the MCU movies. So I thought that was exciting. I did like the ghost character, I think they referred to her as.
Yeah.
I thought she was really interesting and like I'd love to see more of her. So I did like her character. And also it was nice seeing Jan and her character, and like I'm excited to see how that develops as well.
All right. And Last American Girl, how'd you like Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I liked it a lot. As Jess said, I also tend to like the first movies before I do sequels, but that's not very like it's not all the time. But this is definitely one of those cases, because it really felt like it was very similar to the first one, but the first one was so great that it's just equally great as well. The comedy was there, especially with the side characters. I like that's what to me makes the movie. And also, I really enjoyed kind of the setup that it had in order to get into the further Avengers movies to end that phase. So that was exciting. I liked it.
And then Benny, what do you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for Wasp. That was one of the big selling points because she's so different than Scott in the way she fights. Like she's an experienced
Yeah.
fighter, and she seems like once she got the suit, even though she wasn't in it long, she was boom, 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 bam, small, big, instantly, like throughout the entire movie. So it was a different dynamic than Scott's was. And then she has little shooters. So I thought it was great the way they did that. And then they brought Randall Park in, and I enjoy Randall Park movies because he's just great. And then Bill Foster was in it too. So I was wanting him to do something big, but he didn't. But they talked about it, which was good too. So overall, I think I enjoyed number one more than number two, but I enjoyed Wasp in number two than I did her in number one.
Nice. And then Ben Buster, how do you feel about Ant-Man?
I was a huge fan of Lost when it was on TV. So seeing Evangeline Lilly actually kick some ass in this movie, and knowing what she did as Kate Foster in Lost, I'm like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense now. And seeing Michelle Pfeiffer in there as Janet, it got me going. And I'm going, yeah. I love the opening scene where you see her and Hank on that ship and they're doing their thing, setting up the backstory to this movie rather than just here's Scott and the crew that we know, but here's everything else of what we don't know about this crew. We don't know much about Hank in this universe, so here's a little here's a little thing on Hank and everything there. So, and I got to say, I love the miniaturized lab. I love the miniaturized lab. Glad they brought it into this one. So,
yeah, I watched both of the Ant-Man movies again just last night, back to back, and I think I like the second one better, just by a little bit. They're very close to me, but I think the second one does everything right like the first one does, but I think adds a little bit more to it. I love the use of like size manipulation in the second one with all the vehicles. That's fantastic. How the suit goes haywire for Ant-Man, and then he becomes just like a little person and all that. He's like a kid in the school. Like that's some funny
yeah.
And then he becomes Giant Man at one point. Everything with size in the movie they cover. So I think that was fantastic. I thought Ghost was a really cool villain. The phasing through everything, that was awesome for some great action sequences. And like you guys already said, the Wasp was great with all her action sequences. So just took everything great from the first and added a little bit more to it with still keeping the same tone, keeping the same kind of fun to it. So I think it went in a good direction. So I actually quite like that second one. Very happy with it.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to say we didn't touch on the first one is that amazing scene between Ant-Man and Falcon, where you got an original Avenger in there, and that was so kick-ass because he was kind of, hey, I'm one of you guys. Hey, how's it going? I'm Ant-Man. And he's like, Ant-Man, really? Like, and they called out just how silly the name Ant-Man sounds, but only Paul Rudd could say Ant-Man and have to own it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to point that out because I love that scene with Falcon.
And he won the fight, right? Didn't Ant-Man win that
Yeah.
fight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got what he was getting.
All right, let's look at our fourth question here. And definitely, audience, keep those comments coming in because we will read those periodically. If you have any questions about the Ant-Man movies and all that, or MCU at large. But yeah, let's go to now. What did we think of the Ant-Man 3 trailers? Okay, since I think we've had a couple trailers, we had like a little commercial spot with the Super Bowl, which didn't have really nothing to do with the movie, but that was out there. But yeah, let's go with Ben Buster. What do you think of
All
the trailer?
right. It's kind of like what Hug said and how he was taken with Falcons and hey, I'm Ant-Man. And seeing him and Kang, there's like, and you are? Oh, I'm Ant-Man. Are you the one with the hammer? No, that's Thor. It's like you would
Like
think
no one
it's
knows.
like
Like no one knows.
exactly. Like no one knows him. Yeah, exactly. but I think that's what takes it into the character of Ant-Man, that he is the wild card of the group. And honestly, you and the tone of these trailers that I've seen is nothing like we've seen in the previous two, where it was like these lighthearted, more like family movies because you had Cassie in there and everything. Can I say it? I want to do the elephant in the room right now.
Yeah.
Why are they recasting Cassie yet again?
Yeah,
I understand. I understand in
I-
Endgame doing it, but I don't understand in this one. So
No, and I was looking that up because I knew that was going to come up, and there's just no reason out there. And
No,
the actress,
there's not.
the original actress, was it Catherine Newton? She didn't even know she was being replaced until it was announced she was replaced. That's so damn cold, man.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I will say this, Ben, since you brought it up,
Yeah.
that moment when Scott goes back and he realizes he's lost 5 years with his daughter, and
Yeah.
they see each other, I bawled, I cried at that
Exactly.
moment because that actress sold the moment with Scott.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. And now I don't even get a second chance to enjoy her.
no.
So that really, I mean, I hope this other girl's great, but I'm already going in with a little bit of trepidation because she took my girl, you know?
Yeah. Is it because we have too many brunettes, female brunettes now in the MCU, and they needed a blonde? Is that the reason why?
I think it's just a Disney thing because it did the same thing to Mike and I. We've discussed Halloween Town movies. They did the same thing to Kimberly J. Brown. They didn't even tell her she wasn't going to be in the last installment. It was just
And that didn't work out well for that movie. So, yeah.
All right, Benny. So, what do you think of the trailer so far?
I enjoy the trailers. Like some trailers, are hit and miss for me, but I enjoyed these ones because of Kang. I'm like Kang against Ant-Man. That's an interesting thing right there, little rivalry. And plus, they're going into the Quantumverse, my bad, and they're having a bunch of colorful characters and random things happening. So I'm excited for it.
All right, and Last American Girl.
trailers. I'm usually not a big trailer person. I did see the ones that were at the Super Bowl, so those are obviously regular ones. The one that stuck with me is the thank you, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's a welcoming movie. It looks like there's going to be a lot of CGI and effects, and we're actually excited to go see it because of those. Because technology has advanced, and 3D movies are actually worth it nowadays if it's properly made. And from the trailers, that's what I've gathered. That it'll be fun in that regard. It'll be good, I think. They don't give away too much, but there's going to be comedy and action, and that's what I'm going for.
All right, and Jesse, what do you think of the trailers?
Pretty exciting. I like how I think most of them kind of started off a little lighthearted, then got exciting, then kind of got more serious. And definitely with all the 3D effects and CGI you see, I feel like it's going to feel kind of like a different movie. And it might feel like one of those like kind of bigger movies you'd expect at the end of the phase, but maybe it might be towards the beginning of the phase. That's what I'm getting from this trailer. I did really appreciate though one of the trailers had a scene where Ant-Man is getting like an award or presentation or something in Baskin Robbins, and I love that tie-in because we
Yeah,
saw
Baskin
him
Robbins.
working there, in the first Ant-Man movie. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that tie-in.
All right, and Huck, what do you think of those trailers?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key to not. I mean, it's almost like this is Ant-Man's Civil War. This is the big third one in the thing, and I. While there's been enough bouncing around in the trailers that shows it's going to be intense, but it's still got humor. I don't want to lose sight of what makes Ant-Man so charming, and that they're not trying to force feed a Civil War sized Ant-Man movie on us just to progress their agenda, because that would do a disservice to Ant-Man and the Wasp, because what I think we love so far about the first two is they are the more intimate standalone little movies with all the charm, right? That's the breath of fresh air. This isn't going to be a breath of fresh air. This is going to be a breath of familiar air, right? Because it's bringing back the bad guy. It's upping the stakes. We're going there again. So the question is just, will it do it by maintaining the sincerity of the characters that are involved? And I hope so, because I love them. I love Wasp, both Wasp, Janet and Hope, and Hank and Scott, and that's what I want to see together, is all four of them working together. I mean, that's going to be what we want. And the tell-all in the trailer is, what was it like? Kang is like attacking Ant-Man, and he's like, something to him. He says,
Yep.
I don't have to win. We just both have to lose. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't even know what that means, but
Yeah.
But that also shows what kind of guy Ant-Man is. He knows he's now in a position, he just has to do this to win, which is to lose. I don't know what it means. I'm kind of freaking out. I don't want to lose any of my favorites in that movie. But yeah.
Yeah, to me, the trailers have been intriguing. I do like how they have the comedy stuff at the beginning that is very familiar to the past Ant-Man movie. So I'm glad we're keeping the humor. But then it does get very CGI-ish, and it kind of feels like a sci-fi. I know people are using the word like Star Wars type of movie. So it looks like you can see like a lot of stuff was done on a sound stage and green screen and all of that. I hope it doesn't get too much into that. Or if they do, that it's done well. I don't think it's going to be Avatar level done well, though. I feel like MCU probably rushed a lot more than James Cameron. It take like 10 years. Like, no, visual effects workers, you got 2 months. Let's get it going, So we'll see what we get with this.
Yeah.
So that part worries me just a little bit, but at least catches my attention, and it feels like a bigger movie, like a third movie should be for a character's kind of trilogy. So hopefully there's those high stakes in there. I feel like something's going to be lost, because that usually happens in the third of these character movies. So we'll see, but at least it did catch my attention.
I just hope it doesn't do a disservice to this third movie like it did a disservice to Civil War with Captain America. Because we didn't get the solo Captain America film. We got Avengers like 1.5. 2.5 in there.
2.5.
Yeah. It's my favorite movie, so I will take
I don't have any qualms about it, but it is the fact that he's the only one who technically hasn't gotten a solo third film.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
it was a great film, just not a solo film.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much character stuff in here, which leads to our next question. But let me get to the comments, see what we got here. We got Movie Fan 91 saying, "Cannot wait to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania." Yes, know you're a big superhero fan as well. He was on the superhero trivia, right, Huck? Right, we were battling.
That's right. Yeah, Chris was giving you a toe-to-toe tango there.
So he knows his MCU movies for sure. We got Peer Hangout in the house. We got the second Ant-Man Quantumania trailer. Didn't do much for me. Really liked the first trailer though. And I'm a little worried about the soundstage look. And I like more practical effect work stuff, so I feel like Marvel's going too much into the soundstage realm. They're like, oh, we got the soundstage technology, now let's use it for a lot of our movies just all the time.
Yeah.
That does worry me as well. All right. Let's get into this next question here. What do we think of the confirmed characters being introduced here? So, I mean, we got King the Conqueror in there, got a little bit of that MODOK action. We got Bill Murray, whoever
MODOK.
that's supposed to be. Maybe someone can shed some light on that. But let's go, Benny, my comic book knowledge person. What do you think of these new introduced characters? And if you want to talk about some of the old characters too, go for it.
Well, I'm really excited for Kang. I've been really excited for all the villains in these last few movies, off of Gore and Thor: Love and Thunder, Namor from Black Panther, Kang. They're really hitting the spot on the villains. So that was the main one I was excited about because he's going to be. They're trying to build him up to be the next Thanos, especially with the next few Avengers movies coming out. I feel like he's going to be the big bad villain, or him or one of his variants. But I'm also excited to see MODOK because he was the Yellow Jacket in the first movie, and now he's back as MODOK in this third movie. The same character, Darren Cross. It's going to be interesting. I want to see how they do it. It's different than the comics, but he still has a big head, the little arms, and all that stuff. So it's a silly look, but a little change. But I'm still kind of excited for that. And Bill Murray's character, I believe he's going to be Krylar. I believe that's his name, or something like that. He's going to be, yep, Lord Krylar. That's right. That, and he's going to be leading a town. I'm assuming opposite of Kang, so that's where he's going to be coming in. And it's Bill Murray, so let's hope it's good. So those are the three main that I'm excited about. Because obviously the other characters from the old movies, they're going to be coming in too, which they're all great. So let's see how these three fit the par.
And then Ben Buster, I saw you when MODOK was mentioned there. Are you not a fan of this this type of MODOK? What's going on with that, Ben Buster?
I mean, it's like Benny said. If they do it, if they explain it better, it might sit well with me. Because when you have MODOK, you're having one of the most intellectual geniuses in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the Marvel Universe as well. In there, guy who could go toe to toe with the likes of Tony Stark, of Vision, like these geniuses in here, and yet here he is being this villain from your first movie. I understand if they're trying to do the whole, here's your past, it's bringing up its ugly head again. Scott, here you go. Or Hank, here's. I understand that. I need to see how they explain it. How the Yellow Jacket becomes MODOK in here. But beyond that, I mean, seeing everything else that was confirmed, seeing that we're getting back the Baskin Robbins boss, we're getting back David. I'm gonna butcher the last name. That was Makian, or we're getting him back. I'm like, because I'm looking at it right now, it's like I see we have Cassie age progressed again. But the one thing that I'm looking forward to is Jonathan Majors as Kang. If you haven't seen any of his previous work, go check it out. Everyone who's watching this, you'll be like, oh wow, they actually got him. This guy was good in Lovecraft Country and everything else he's been in, and I can't wait to see what he does with Kang.
All right, and Last American Girl.
And he's going to be in Creed 3.
These characters.
The characters, as everyone's been saying, it's just a little confusing as to how they are going to be playing into this. But I definitely think that, like I've previously said, with all the verses, the multiverse, quantum verse, and that kind of thing, that it might end up being like a variant Loki Sylvie situation here, and that's how we're gonna get all of these really cool characters, and like for a future question, like all the cameos and that kind of thing.
And Jesse, what do you think of these characters?
I was excited to see Kang. So again, I don't really follow the comics, so sometimes I don't know who's going to be showing. But I was excited when I saw him in the trailer just because we've seen him before. So I'm really like interested to see what's going to happen with him. also we've kind of seen a pattern and discussed already how we're either getting like new or old characters becoming the superheroes, like the apprentices, the upcoming ones. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen with Cassie. Just because I know in the earlier movies, she's always seemed like she's always had her dad's back. And she's even said before, like, she wants to be his partner. So it's like, I'm curious if that's going, like, to be some foreshadowing of what's to come. So those are the two characters I'm like most excited to see.
All right, and Huck, what do you think of these characters?
Well, let's see. I am curious with the Bill Murray thing, because they said that there's supposed to be a connection with Janet Van Dyne with those two. So, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer, so it'll be interesting to see what Bill Murray brings to this, because instantly as soon as he comes on, you're like, okay, he's gonna ham. I mean, even in the clips, his face looks like he's pulling a Bill Murray. Hello, he's waiting for some Caddyshack comedy or something. So that's gonna be interesting. And then what are they hiding from us, right? Everything you guys said, and then there's the element of what's hiding in the quantum realm. Are they hiding the Fantastic Four? Is that why they're not here yet? Is that who's going to pop out of there? Have the X-Men been stuck in there for some reason? Like this is such a questionable, it's like multiverse with Doctor Strange. Now you've got the Quantumania. So you've got all these different realms you can play with as the Marvel IP and resurrect or introduce new IP. So I'm curious, with all of these things that we're talking about, if there's not something else hiding off to the side that they're going to surprise us with. I just hope it's not like something in the end credits and then like, oh, look, there's Wolverine's foot, or something. It's like, really? That's how we're going to introduce Wolverine, So
the claws just appearing out of nowhere,
yeah, like shink real slow. It's like, yes, really? So, but yeah, I don't know how we're going to get the Fantastic Four, but like I said before, they're one of my favorites. So, yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Is what is the secret characters that we don't even know about?
Yeah.
For these characters, the Bill Murray one, definitely I was thinking about, I'm like, what's going on here? But I think they're trying to do something similar to like Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok had Jeff Goldblum. They're like, that worked really well. Who can we get kind of like that? Let's throw some Bill Murray in here.
Yep.
I feel like it was their train of thought with that one. But I'm excited to see King of the Conqueror, just because I think Jonathan Majors is awesome. So I'm super excited to see him in Creed 3 as well. But I don't know too much about that character. Just what I've seen from basically the trailers and then, of course, the Loki show and all that good stuff. But my comic book people out there, is this pretty accurate to the comics? Like his look? Does he look like how King the Conqueror should look? Okay, so that's a good sign.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I think
they figured out a way to make his face purple. I think it's something in his suit, right, guys? Like
I think it's a visor.
Yeah, it's a
visor
or a little film that goes over it. So when it goes away, he's not purple anymore. I was like, all right, I'm
it's cool. Like a helmet thing with the visor goes up and down type deal.
Yeah. And he still has the scars that go down the two sides.
Yep.
So. Yeah. He looks pretty.
I hope he doesn't get him by a cat though.
Oh God!
The alien cat. Don't even get me started on that.
That was like the worst scene of all time.
It's like, really? That's how we got it.
Oh, that was so bad. But then I think Cassie Lang, she's gonna have a major part in this movie, because that's the only reason why they would recast her. Like if she was just gonna have a little part, they wouldn't have gone through recasting. I don't think so.
What are they recasting her with? Is she like known for something?
I think she's more of a high-profile actress. Like her face looks familiar, doesn't it? Doesn't she? I don't know what her name is, but I feel like I've seen her and stuff before. Or maybe that's just me, but she looks more recognizable to me than Cassie one. Unless I'm thinking of a different person. But she looked familiar.
No, she is pretty familiar looking too.
Abby Ryder Forston. Whoever that is. I mean, the name doesn't jump out to me.
It doesn't.
Yeah, definitely not the name, but I feel like I've seen her face before.
All right, so a real quick IMDb jump, and we have Let's see.
Nothing.
It's Catherine Noon in this one.
DuckTales. I don't know. Yeah, nothing's popping out.
It's Catherine Noon in this one. The
Yeah,
one
you're right.
Actually,
yeah, this is the one I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong one. I was
Catherine
like, wow,
Noon's
she was
from Freaky.
Pikachu.
Oh well.
All right, we got Amazing Anna in here saying hi, everyone. I'm excited for Ant-Man.
It's amazing.
Bill Murray's in this. Yes, for some reason.
Yeah, girl.
I'm
Is
telling
he
you,
going across the streams?
comedic relief. That's really what's going to be. Peer Hangout saying, I know he likes to take it easy these days, but I hope Bill Murray is more than a cameo. I think he'll have a decent little part in there.
Yeah.
I know. Do you feel like he did more like Benicio del Toro and Guardians, where it was like that was a pretty small part, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's that kind of part.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. You know?
I feel like Bill Murray is going to be in the spot where we have all this action, all this drama, and they need to break that with some humor. That's where I see Bill Murray coming in.
Maybe he owns a bar in the realm.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? I don't know if we saw them in the trailer, but is like Ant-Man's friends, like ex-con friends, those side characters, are they all in this movie or no?
I have not seen them in the trailer.
According to what I saw on Wiki, it's just David Dalmakian's character in there. That's it. You don't have T.I. You don't have
Michael Pena.
Luis in there. Yeah, you don't have Michael Pena in there.
That means we're not going to have a recapping of sorts.
I know.
Oh,
that's a lost moment. That's such a lost
moment.
Goodness.
Well, that could come into our next question, though, Mike.
Yes, we will get to the next question.
Yep.
We'll get into that one. But that's going to be perfect. So, what cameos do we think we're going to get? Ant-Man 3, Ben Buster.
First of all, Luis, because if Michael Pena is not a confirmed character, we might get a cameo in him. Like, hey, here's what happened during the last 5 years when everyone else was blipped, and I wasn't. Here's what we're doing. And just a quick rundown of everything going on, or even as a narrator in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just doing that. I think we'll see that. But ultimately, it's like Huck said, what are they hiding in here? I know, obviously, we're going to see probably the Council at some point in time in here. Betty knows what I'm talking about.
I got you.
Do we get that little taste of Reed like we got the little taste of Reed in Multiverse of Madness? Do we get the little taste
That's
of
what I'm hoping
for character in here? Because we already have a Richards with Kang in here. So do we get that little taste in there? Do we see what else is out there? Do we actually see that this quantum realm ties into the Sony Spider-Verse? Because we know that the Tobey Maguire, we know that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland Spider-Man are going to be in the Spider-Verse animated movie. So how does does this quantum realm tie into that? Will we see the Spider-Man back again? Like with them just appearing in the last Spider-Man movie, it opens up the doors to what like Huck said, what are they hiding in here? Obviously, my big thing is probably it's going to be the Fantastic Four, or even the main villain of Secret Wars, which is not going to be Kang, but Dr. Doom. So.
All right, Benny, what are you thinking for cameos here?
That was my main one too. Something Fantastic Four or Doom related. Because for those that don't know, Kang is actually a descendant / like relative of Reed Richards. So they have a history. Like his name's actual like Nathaniel Richards in the comics. So that's why I was hoping for some type of Fantastic Four tie-in to this. So that was like the main one I'm looking for. And then they've been hinting at Fantastic Four for a while. Then they brought in John Krasinski, right?
Yeah.
For the Multiverse of Madness. So I'm like, okay, give me some Fantastic Four. That's what I want.
Last American Girl, what are you thinking for cameos?
Said it before, I'll say it again. I'll continue saying it until it manifests. Star Fox Arrows.
I know you were going to bring up
I will not be over But in all seriousness, definitely hoping for a Michael Pena and just maybe some more of the someone on the comedic side, maybe a cameo from like Loki or Sylvie, because they seem to be the ones that are kind of setting up this whole variant multiverse mistakes kind of thing, especially with the same villains. So kind of hoping for that.
All right, Jesse, what are you thinking, or what are you hoping for cameos here?
So we had already mentioned it, but right off the bat, I was already hoping for his friends, Luis, Dave, and Kurt. That's what their names are. So
Yeah.
I really want to see them. I don't think we'll see much of them because I feel like most of the movie will probably take place in this quantum realm that they're in. But hopefully we get to see them, especially since this is the third Ant-Man movie. Curious if we're going to see maybe some of the timekeepers or people of the TVA, since we do have that tie-in with Loki. So those are the main ones that I'm wondering and hoping that we might see.
Huck, you're already talking a little bit about cameos here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just get on the same bandwagon. I would, at the very least, love at the intro to see his friends. I think you're cheating the Ant-Man fans, the fans who have loved his movies, regardless of being connected to the Avengers, and to not. It's like, and I'm making a drastic comparison. It's like having a Thor movie and not having Loki in it, right? Like everything you love about Loki makes Thor better because of their interplay, right? And if you don't have, Scott's buddies for him to interplay with, I mean, yes, he still has a certain interplay between Hope and Janet and Hank and those guys, but those are his buds, So at some point, and I snuck a peek at IMDb, and yep, I'm not seeing those actors on here. So that's, and that's, they'd really have to be clamping down on the IMDb so you don't see those names, which they have done. Like they're locking away. If John Krasinski and team appears as Fantastic Four, they're not going to be in this database until they want it to be.
No.
So I don't know what we're going to get. I'll just be happy to see something that advances. We're also saying now we want this. We're excited for this. Those hidden characters is what is going to explode the Marvel fans with excitement. Because what is this if not something to set up? What is this movie for? Right? What is Quantumania for? It's not just a ride for Ant-Man to go into a really small universe. It's not. It's a ride to take the Marvel fans somewhere new and to bring us something new. If it does not deliver that, then I feel like Ant-Man 3 is going to be a major disappointment for those fans. Because that's what everyone's
bring in the A-list.
Yeah, everyone's expecting something big. You cannot pull off this, smaller character who's known for comedy and great banter and then not deliver something beyond him, especially with the visual you're showing. You're showing us something bigger than what we're expecting is coming. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's the character I'm looking for.
Yeah, just kind of piggyback off of what you all were saying. Of course, the friends are a must. I think all of the Ant-Man characters need to show up in his third film. I want Ghost in here as well, because you got Ghost that's going to be on the Thunderbolts team. So why not have Ghost show up a little bit? I'll take that as well. But I mean, this could get wild with some cameos. I do think Fantastic Four, like you all were saying, was pretty likely because we know that movie's coming out. But I would like to see something wild here. Like a different variant of some character. Who knows? Maybe we get a different variant of Iron Man. Tom Cruise Iron Man shows up. Who knows? Maybe get
that would be so good.
Chris Evans, Johnny Storm.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be cool. Leading into Secret Wars.
Norton's Incredible Hulk. Let's go. Let's do something wild with this. I mean, we're in the Quantumania here, quantum realm. Let's get some variations. I think we're going to get something like that. Some variation that's shocking to us. I'm really hoping for that. Even if it's just like a post-credit scene, I'll take it. But I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need to get us excited for the rest of this phase. So I hope that happens.
Because obviously this is setting up for the future, Mike.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get X-Men, though. I feel like they're going to save on X-Men for like a year or two, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since they are doing Deadpool 3 and supposedly Hugh's in that, so are they?
Well,
Yeah.
and it's
maybe they're saving it for how that's
Sup-
even possible. You know?
supposedly there's a rumor out there that their contracts with Fox, the characters for X-Men, that if you're going to use them, they have to be those actors, either from
Oh.
the original 3 movies or the first class movies. So in order to use them, those contracts come up in 2025.
Okay.
What happens in 2025? Secret Wars.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's
And
one of my
then the
favorite
reboot,
comics, by the way.
and then the reboot of the MCU with the X-Men.
You need to
So,
bring back Evan Peters then.
mhm. And you have to explain
Like,
how.
well, he's
and you
supposed
have
to be coming
explain
back.
Magneto easily. So,
All right, let's check in on the chat here. Jordo's Video Village saying hello, everybody. Great panel. We got Alex here saying Huck and Mike, let's go. Yeah.
Let's go, Alex.
Got Mama Blu-ray here.
I guess we're having a
Huck.
stare
I
down.
was having a stare down.
She won.
We got
What's
mid-level
up,
media.
Ken?
What up?
He was great on the show earlier.
We got Dennis, Cinema 4K. I'm scheduled for Dolby for this Mega Quantumania. Are you guys doing IMAX or Dolby? I do want to see it in IMAX if I can, but I'm going to have to drive out to a premium screen for me. How about you guys? Anybody going to a premium screen?
Dolby
like
3D.
Yeah, I have a yeah. Is it in 3D? Will it be in 3D?
I'm doing Dolby 3D.
Yeah, I think that looked nice for Avatar, so I would love to see that way.
We
All
saw
right.
Avatar regular, but in 3D, like regular screen, but in 3D, and it was spectacular. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess Amazing Anna answered the question. No IMAX for me. I think we were watching it regular. All right. Amazing Anna, funny that. Oh, I have a friend who won't watch. What? That we never blink. What's going on here? Amazing Anna bringing in some drama tonight.
I'll try to blink more.
With 4K cameo, we will get Henry Cavill in a Marvel. Henry Cavill. Ooh, that would be amazing. Let's get Henry Cavill as the new Iron Man. Yes, Mike
Sentry.
or Captain Britain.
Sentry. He's definitely
Yeah.
Sentry. Captain Britain or Sentry. Those are my two for him too.
Let's see. I agree with Huck. Start of a new phase will be a big time cameo. Wolverine, Daredevil, Deadpool. But I feel like those would be a little more expected, though.
I think he's just asking who do we like. I just like. Oh, no, I guess it is a cameo. Yeah, I don't think any of those will be in Ant-Man.
Yeah. Maybe Ann said I have to bring the tea into the chat. It's too quiet for a Monday.
Bring it in, Anna. Bring it in.
All right. So we are now on to how do we think Ant-Man 3 story will play out? Wait, why is this funny? Why is this a funny question?
No, Anna asked if we were hungover.
Oh, I thought you guys were laughing. Like, I see the question. It's a weird question. Okay. Amazing Anna.
Your lady's hilarious.
People just hung over because of the Super Bowl yesterday. Do we look hungover? I don't think we're what?
I think we're just tired. It is Monday.
I got here, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah. I mean, you had Ant-Man drinking like a non-alcoholic Heineken. So I mean,
Oh, that's so.
Yeah, I did.
Weird, like little teaser spot. I'm like, why are they mixing like beer with Marvel? Like, what's going on right now? I thought that was so random.
I know, yeah, but it's not alcoholic, and the ants are stealing it. Oh, you guys are not going to finish that.
Yeah, the ants are drinking. The ants drink now.
I know, right? Alcoholic ants. It's kind of hilarious, though.
Real concern.
Yeah, I feel like everything they could have done for like Ant-Man at the Super Bowl, like they went that direction with him. Like,
I know.
All right.
Right.
All right. So how do we think the Ant-Man 3 story will play out? Benny, how do you think this one's going down? What's your predictions here?
So how I think it might happen, which it's probably not going to, because some of my predictions have been wrong for the last couple movies. Obviously, we all know they're gonna get sucked into the thing and end up in the quantum realm. I'm guessing that's where they're gonna get separated. It's gonna be Scott and his daughter landing back here, and Hope, Hank, and everybody else down here on this side of it, and they're gonna have to try to make their way to each other. But Scott and his daughter are gonna get caught by Kang and his men, while Hope and everyone is gonna be end up over here with Lord Krylar and doing their story, and Kang's gonna want Scott to like, I'm gonna say steal something because the other ones are heist movies too. Steal something to help him get out of the quantum realm, and holding the daughter as like leverage type of deal. And then obviously Hope and Hank are on the opposite side trying to stop Kang because she knows how bad he is. About something like that. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I liked how you mentioned that heist element because I wasn't even thinking that way, but that'd be awesome to kind of tie it back to the first two Ant-Man movies. So that'd be cool. Ben Butler, what are you thinking with the story?
I agree with Benny. They're going to be separated throughout the entire movie, and then come back for the final act. Even having his buddy David Dallas Manian's character maybe being on the comms outside of the quantum realm, like the team was originally for Scott when he first went into Ant-Man 2 at the end. Kind of like that with Scott. He's like, well, here's where everyone is. Okay, you keep an eye on them. Cassie and I are going this way, type of thing. That way you have someone on the outside looking in, and you have the team inside who can talk with each other through the guy on the outside. That's how I see that going on. And like you said, Benny, it's like Kang it has to be a heist movie because we see his chair there. We see his time chair, and it's not working. Everything else is moving around except for the time chair. What's causing that not to work? And I think that's why he needs Ant-Man to help him do that in order to restart and fix the broken timeline. So,
yep.
Jesse, what are you thinking with this one?
Kind of what Benny said already with them being split up. I felt like you could already tell it from the trailer. And again, those reoccurring themes, the heist theme, and then the theme of taking something that Ant-Man loves the most, which is his daughter, and holding that. Because I think we've seen that in the first Ant-Man and the second Ant-Man. I feel like towards the end, we're going to get Ant-Man is not going to be the same. I'm going to say that. I feel like that's going to be at the end.
All right, Last American Girl, what do you think?
So I think there's going to be an issue going quantum. I think it's going to be like a question of science. An atom is going to get blown up or something, and that's going to cause some sort of rift. And I'm honestly afraid that it's going to end up being like Multiverse of Madness, something kind of similar to that, in which maybe other characters start bleeding into whatever universe, and it's during this split that they're trying to get everyone back together into their respective universes. So again, with the following the same plot as Spider-Man. So I think it's going to be like based on what I've seen from the trailers. It feels like a lot of the plot is going to be recycled from previous movies in Phase 4.
All right, Huck,
that's a really good take, Last American Girl. It's like, yeah, so you're building to the end of this film, and I think we're all on the key is his daughter, right, Cassie. I think Cassie could be. I don't want to say she's going to get sacrificed because I'm sure they want her for the Young Avengers. That's why they cast a young, healthy, athletic girl. But that doesn't mean she can't be. It's not we're going to call it the Empire Strikes Back. He could take her, and he's losing. Somehow Ant-Man is winning and defeating Kang because of something he's able to do. But he takes Cassie with him, and then that sort of, they go away. And then Scott's able to come back into the regular world with Hank and everybody else. and the journey continues. Now I need to keep going and get her back. Right? Maybe that's the journey. That's what drives him beyond this movie, because I feel like something other than like that thing I was talking about earlier, where something big's got to happen. Big characters need to show up. The advancement of the MCU needs to happen because it looks like it's supposed to in this film. But then something needs to happen for Scott. And I hope it's not the death of somebody he loves. I don't want to lose Hope. I don't even want to lose Janet or Hank. You know what I mean? Like, I get kind of tired of like, oh, we got to lose somebody. I already feel like we're going to lose somebody in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, it's like, so, and you also have that to think about. Like that is coming out next. So you also don't want to make a repetitive statement in your two films back to back. Okay, now we're going to kill Hank, and in this one we're going to kill Rocket, and in this one we're going to kill blah blah blah. Like then the fans are going to be like, stop killing everybody, right? So I hope that that's not the end result for anybody on this one.
Oh man, you guys have had such good ideas. I'm like, where can I take this now? But I do think somehow King the Conqueror wins in some way, in some shape or form. He wins. Now, whether it's like, okay, to save your daughter, you have to let me pretty much get out too. Like, for everybody to get out and everybody be okay, well, I'm coming with you all, and that's the only way. So then basically Ant-Man saves the daughter, but also King the Conqueror in a way by unleashing him out there into the world. I think something like that is intertwined, or at least I think that'd be a cool idea. I'm always for a little bit of a villain story, a little bit of a villain edge there. And I do think there's going to be a loss. I think either Hank is gone or, or the mom's gone. I think somebody's gone. I'm leaning towards Hank, though. I think Hank's gone in this one. Because I feel like he's just gonna have that dramatic moment with Ant-Man. Like, he's going to lose something. I don't think it's going to be the daughter because they all did the recasting. She seems to have a major part in the future. So I think that's what I'm leaning towards. But I don't know. What do you guys think of my ideas? Are they wild enough there, or
quick little thought? It goes with what we said earlier about how Phase 4 seemed disconjointed. It didn't seem to phase together. Phase 4. What happens if this is not only the start of Phase 5, but the culmination of Phase 4? Too. Think about it for a second. Shang-Chi's 10 rings. Where in the trailer have we seen those rings? It's the circles where Kang is. It's that same design that's on there. Think about the cosmic powers that Miss Marvel has. What is Kang? He's a cosmic entity. He has that kind of power in the quantum realm. Maybe all these little one-off movies that we got in Phase 4 are being paid off in this movie. And maybe it's not the cameos, but it's the payoffs of these movies in there. Yeah, the long play where these guys will come in later in like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, but it's starting to be like, hey, here's your brand new Avengers team. Miss Marvel, not Young Avengers, but her, Shang-Chi, Strange, Ant-Man, or Stinger, whoever they do. That way, maybe that's the foundation of what this is. The end of Phase 4, beginning of Phase 5 as one big movie.
That would be a smart idea.
I like that.
That way they can be like, yeah, Phase 4 was totally how it was supposed to be, and it totally all connected and made sense. I feel like they could try to do something like that, but I don't know if it's because they thought of it at the beginning of Phase 4 or they're trying to readjust.
Retcon
over. They're like,
correct.
Like they do with the Mandarin fix. They're like, oh no, that's not how we played it. This is the real Mandarin now.
Well, I mean, you touch on something interesting, like with the Eternals all out there and everything. Is there any connection? Are they going to have any presence? You know what I mean? Like they've been gone forever, and then suddenly like, where are they? And then like this would be a perfect time for them to show up and do something.
I would love
to, like you said, of your Fantastic Four cameo.
Yeah,
it's Galactus. We see that's the big cameo. That's who Kang's trying to protect the timeline from, because we think Kang's the villain. What happens if he's the hero in this entire story? And it brings up to the fact that he's trying to save the world, this universe from Galactus. I mean,
I'd be down.
All right.
because
Let's go. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That sounds
I'll
good to
be
me.
down with that too. 'Cause
All right, we got a Dennis Cinema 4K saying Ant Beard.
Say that.
Amazing Dennis say yes, Ants drink. Have you ever seen the movie Ants or a Bug Life? And then we got Dennis Cinema 4K with the 199 super chat. This is a great Super Quantumania mega stream. Thank you so much, Dennis. Hey, let's keep those super chats going, everybody. Who's gonna match Dennis? All right,
Got some ants carrying my chapstick.
we got Amazing Anna saying, "What do you think of the movies, Dennis?" Amazing Anna saying, "Huck, you look very focused over there. Are you looking for
Yes, I'm laser focused when we talk about Ant-Man.
Dennis saying, "I really like A Bug's Life, Anna, and I don't think I ever saw it."
A Bug's Life.
I know we're totally turning into a Disney.
What is happening, Dennis?
The ants in the
Well,
chat.
I mean, it's all Disney, right?
I mean, it's all the same thing. There we go, Bug's Life cameo. The bugs are gonna pop up in this movie.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
they do.
So
Disney.
that means we'll get Stallone again. Ants show up.
So at Disney, at Disneyland, California Adventure, in the Pym restaurant, they actually have a shrunken down version of Bugs Life World, of Bugsland.
Interesting.
Dennis saying, "Huck is Ant-Man in real life."
That was my shrinking trick, y'all.
I was gonna say, make sure to not squish him when you have too many beers.
Right on.
Yep, Huck is a real life superhero. I really believe that he's amazing.
You gotta keep my powers a secret.
Up and away. All right, let's see where we're at here. We got now. How would we rank our excitement level for this movie? Hopefully, through this, kind of pregame, we've hyped ourselves up just a little bit. But Ben Buster, I know you started at kind of the mud level. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank your excitement now going into Ant-Man?
well, my excitement for this one is about I'm at a 7. Seven and a half, somewhere in there. Well, because like you said, there's just enough of a tease of the trailers that gets me invested from the previous 2 films, but also invested into what the future's going to hold and what else is in this movie that they're not showing us. Because think about it, the last big event they had like this, they showed us pretty much all the good stuff in the trailer. They showed us the Battle of Wakanda and might have faked a couple things in there, but in the previous trailers, we've gotten a lot of different things that have been shown in the movies. Here, we're basically not getting anything, and that's why I'm at about a 7.5 because of that excitement level and wondering what's going to happen next.
So ready for the surprises then?
Yes.
Benny, what's your excitement level here?
So for the whole MCU, I was a meh, but for the individual movie, I'm gonna give it about a 7.5, close to an 8 though. Mainly for Jonathan Majors, mainly for his character, seeing how he's gonna keep progressing and become the villain that we all want him to be in Kang Dynasty, and maybe even Secret Wars. So I'm gonna give it an 8. That'd be mine.
Wow, you guys both have high scores. Last American Girl, you always give these high scores. What are you at?
I'd say I'm at an 8 as well. I am excited. It's been a while since we last went to a Marvel movie. I mean November, but that was a long time ago. We're ready for more action, and this is definitely one that I want to go see with my family. We're getting excited. We haven't been to the movies in quite a bit altogether, so it's gonna be fun. And I mean, can Paul Rudd really disappoint?
Nope. No.
And Jesse, what's your excitement level here?
I was first at a 7. I love Marvel movies, so already I'm excited. But after watching the trailers again, and I did watch Ant-Man 1 and 2 yesterday, I think now I'm at an 8, just because I am excited to see Ant-Man and those same characters again. I hope we get some time on Earth before it's all in the quantum realm, just because I do like those like kind of, more homier, intimate moments. So I do hope we get that. But I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited.
Wow, you guys are at super high scores right now. 8's like the magic number. Huck, are you keeping with that 8, or are we doing something different here?
I'm a 4. No, I'm just kidding. No, are you kidding? This is great. Like everyone, in fact, not only have the trailers got me excited, but everyone talking here you guys are pumping me up. Like I'm all the things that you're all talking about and sharing, like that gets me kind of curious. Like now I want to see what everyone's looking for, if that's in there. And I'm at about an 8 as well. It's funny, everyone's hitting that 8, and it's because of the expectation, right? If the expectation is met, that's the 8, hoping that's going to be met. And then hopefully that will be a 10 once it's met, like, and they're back on form with this film, and they take us to the next phase that we're excited about. Because it just feels sort of like we're meandering along at this point. We're just getting kind of film after film. And like, I don't really know where we're going. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like we're just going to the next movie is what it feels like. But with Ant-Man, it feels like we're setting up something beyond just here's another movie, and then Guardians is next, and then this is next, and then this is next. I feel like maybe now we're starting to weave back into a timeline that we can get excited about. So, yeah, let's go, man.
See, now I'm going to have to be the villain here because you guys are always saying 8. I'm going to have to
hold on, let me do the average.
Yeah, a little bit lower.
Before my
I'm going to go with a 6. Okay. And that's because I do have concerns with it being all on, soundstage now. Because I like Ant-Man in the real world, where it is that fun kind of family story. I really like that from the first 2 Ant-Man movies. And I feel like we're going to lose that a little bit here. And I don't know. I feel like we're getting a lot of new characters introduced into this one. And I feel like sometimes that can get messy in superhero movies. And I've just been let down with a lot of Marvel movies in Phase 4. Yeah, Wakanda Forever was a little bit of a step in the right direction. It was a slight improvement. But even rewatching Wakanda Forever again, I'm like, it's pretty good. But I had some issues with it. I did have some flaws with it. So I'm gonna lower expectations a little bit. So hopefully, if it does turn out to be an 8, I'm like super happy. Went past my expectations. So I'm gonna be a little cautious on this one, and then just take it as it goes. And hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised. But I still think 6 is a pretty good number. I give it a point for us typing it up.
There's an interesting little tidbit that I learned, and I don't know if this is any related to anything, but the actor playing MODOK, you guys are talking about the big head in the jar, is Corey Stoll, the guy who played Yellow Jacket, first Ant-Man. So is there a relation to that, or did they just hire the actor because it's just a big face and he does a good voice? Or is there a true connection?
Well, he got sucked.
No, we're definitely multiverse.
He did get sucked into the quantum realm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope MODOK works out good too. Like, I feel like that's a character that can go really bad quickly. Like, I feel like, but it could be amazing. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's another one where, like, okay, now we're throwing MODOK in here. What's going on with this?
Yeah, and usually when you're trying to sell weird stuff, you call James Gunn. So he's not on this one.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe they called him and said, "Can you just come in for 2 days and work on this really weird, unbelievable character? Because he's got to work."
Because there's I don't know if you guys ever saw that MODOK TV show, that like animated show that came out not too long ago. I didn't see it. I didn't hear great things about it. So, did you like it, Ben Buster? Was that show all right?
It was all right.
It was all right.
It was all right. I mean, it's more true of the MODOK in the comics. But yeah,
Fair enough. We got Dennis here giving the $4.99 super chat. Thank
Get it.
you so much,
Oh,
Dennis.
Right on, Dennis.
Made my night very fun. Well, Dennis, you made my night. So thank you so much for super supporting the channel. All right, we got Dell in the house. Dell on movies. Can't stay
Going
long.
on, Dale.
Pop in and say what's up. We got Mama Blu-ray. Hi, Dell. Got
And a
Made
screen
Anna.
boy.
What's up, Dell? In-screen voice. We got Mega Amp Punch. That super chat. Yes, who can match Dennis super chat? Okay, let's go, everybody. Super chat. Or if you're watching this on the replay, don't forget about the super thanks option as well. All right, got Amazing Anna saying, we did too, Jesse. Mega Mike forced me to watch them again. His force wasn't strong enough to keep me watching. Yeah, he got through Ant-Man 1 again, but not through Ant-Man and the Wasp. She tapped out after the first one. So.
That's funny.
All right, so our next question here, very important question because it comes down to the monies, all right? How much will it make at the box office opening weekend? Woo! All right, Ben Buster, you got a prediction on this? How much it might make? You can give a range too.
I would say between. Are we talking from opening night until Sunday?
Yes, yeah. Just
So
yeah,
that
opening
Thursday.
weekend, don't mess
So
with
that
it.
Thursday. Okay.
Mhm.
25 to 30 million.
20.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'm saying that because you've had the likes of Top Gun, which got people back in theaters, Avatar, which got people back in theaters, and I'm thinking that this is that one that gets the family back together in theaters.
And then I'll also add to that too, Ben Buster. What are you thinking in the long run for the total? What do you think Ant-Man 3 pulls in after it's all said and done?
And maybe at least right around 700 million.
Around 700.
I would say.
All right.
It won't break that billion mark. No.
All right, Benny. What are you thinking here? First opening weekend and then long run.
I'm gonna go higher than Ben Buster. I'm gonna go 50.
50 million.
I don't know what movies are out right now to compete with it.
Nothing.
So, plus,
Cocaine Bear.
now that Ant-Man's a household name. Oh, Cocaine Bear. That's true. They got Cocaine Bear.
Wait.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man will win the fight against
Or
Cocaine
is
Bear.
that the same weekend? I thought Cocaine Bear was the weekend after. If I'm right. So
I'm not sure.
yeah. So right now there's like nothing out. Unless you want to go see the amazing.
That's why I'm gonna go.
So coming out on Friday, Ant-Man is the biggest thing. Cocaine Bear comes out the following weekend.
Following weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. Ant-Man is the only wide release on Friday. So there you go.
Then I'm going 50.
And what do you think long run, Benny?
Oh, I don't even know. That's a good question. I can't even answer that one.
You think it hits that billion mark, right? Didn't it? Did Doctor?
No, probably not. Probably not the billion though.
Probably not a billion, no. Okay.
Probably not the billion though. No.
Yeah, because I don't think did Multiverse of Madness just barely get to a billion or just right under it, like 900 something?
Yeah, I don't know if it made it to a billion.
No, I think the only one that it has.
How did Wakanda Forever do?
Did Wakanda get over a billion? No.
I don't think it did.
All right, Last American Girl, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to go a little lower with the 45. However, in the long run, I do think it's going to hit the billion, solely because there's nothing else in theaters right now. And also, the theater is so expensive nowadays. The other day, I went to the movies and it was like $70 for 2 people. It's like, what?
You need that subscription pass, Last American Girl. You gotta get on that.
It was a special event, so I guess it's fine. But still, I wasn't happy about it. But definitely 45 opening and billion in the long run. There's nothing else out. You can't really take the whole family to see Cocaine Bear, so why not just go see Ant-Man over and over again?
All right, Jesse, what are you thinking?
I think it's gonna be a little closer to like Ben Buster's number, just because I feel like it's hyped up, but not as hyped as say like Avengers Endgame, where everybody knew you're gonna see all these different characters, all these superheroes coming together. You don't really know everybody you are gonna see, so I think it's going to be a little lower, but still pretty decent.
Huck, what are you thinking?
Okay, so there's no way Quantumania is going to make 20 to 35 million. That's way too low. That's way too low. I think
There you go.
I think the Marvel audience is super hungry for this to be a hit. I think they're all eager to see what is hiding inside this that's bringing in the new stage. And I'm going for 75 to 85 million the opening weekend, because Doctor Strange did huge. That got a massive opening. And I think we knew there was no one in Doctor Strange but Wanda, right? I mean, there was those promise of those cameos, and we got those cameos. We got that little area where there was Mr. Fantastic and Professor X came back, and people got excited to go see that, right? So if there's any sort of excitement with Ant-Man, and Ant-Man had an Ant-Man 2. Doctor Strange did not. Its number 2 was Quantumania. So this is their third film. And so to back it up for you guys, so Black Panther Wakanda only made 855 worldwide, and Doctor Strange did come up short at 955. So if you're saying that Ant-Man is a harder character for people to jump on board with, then I think you're probably looking at maybe 750 million in the end when it's done. If it delivers something we don't see coming, I think it'll do better than Wakanda, because I don't think Wakanda really gave us anything. Sorry. I just don't think that movie forwarded anything beyond what they needed to for the Wakanda story. I think it still feels like a self-contained thing, even though they play ball with the rest of the MCU a little bit, like, oh, let's get Black Panther over here. I feel like they're still their own little thing, but Scott's part of something else. He's part of a bigger thing. So yeah, I think it could be an unexpected, maybe 75 mil. I don't think it's going to crack 100, because I'm not hearing an excitement explosion. and also Doctor Strange had the fortune of coming right off of Spider-Man No Way Home. It was just a few months after Spider-Man No Way Home. So people are like, oh, are the Spider-Man going to be in that too? Because Doctor Strange was just in Spider-Man. And the very next thing he did was that. So that had a lot of things helping it out. Ant-Man's sort of a loner. No one's helping out Ant-Man right now. So we'll see. I hope it's not. Look, I'm with you, Jess. If it's 20 to 35 million, it's not going to do big numbers then. If that's its opening, it'll never hit $1 billion if that's its opening, because movies rarely keep going up unless you're Top Gun Maverick and Avatar. Those are the only two. They're massive. So if it doesn't come out swinging at the fence at 75 million, it's going to be so bad. I don't want that to happen to it.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this one. And to me, Marvel movies are pretty front loaded. So the Marvel fans are going out to this one opening weekend. So I feel good about the 70 million range. I would say very low end would be 60, but I feel right around 70. I don't think it's going to get past, definitely not going to get to 100 million opening weekend. No way. I don't think 90. If it did 80, that would be amazing. But I think around that 70 range. In the long run, I would love for it to be like, yes, it's going to make $1 billion, but Ant-Man movies usually don't perform that well. Yeah, they're hyping up this Ant-Man movie to be a little bit more than an Ant-Man movie, with it starting off phase 5 and it having ramifications everywhere else in the MCU. But I think that can make it a bigger box office in the long run. But I still don't think $1 billion. 900 million, I think, would be pushing it. I would say very low end 600, but I think it's going to be
Are
better than that. I feel about 800. Like if it got over 800, I would feel good about that. So that would be my
are
optimistic end 800.
are there any other family movies out right now?
The Amazing Maurice, which is an animated movie that nobody saw besides me, but it's excellent. Everybody.
Well, because I'm saying if you're going because like we said, the Marvel fans are going to go spearheaded first.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's no other family movies out, the families are going to go see this. So that's going to be even more box office there because you're talking to talking parents, yeah, kids, all that stuff. And then those kids are going to tell their friends and stuff like that. So it's going to be more so families going to see this Ant-Man movie. So
Exactly.
we're thinking from the standpoint of the Marvel fans. We're not thinking of the standpoint of
Casual
the
fan.
parents of the families that way.
We're also not thinking in terms of this is Valentine's Day, and they're
Yeah.
literally getting rid of every movie in the theater and just making room for Ant-Man.
Uh-huh.
So who are the teenagers going to go see?
You're
Who are the
telling me they're
couples
not
going to
going
go
to go see Magic Mike?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
Teenagers gonna
Deadpool had
see.
a great opening on Valentine's Day weekend when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's any indication that a comic book movie can survive on Valentine's Day weekend, that this would be that movie as well too.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the February has proven a good time.
Yeah.
Like it's not a weak month anymore. Like, I mean, that's when Captain Marvel came out, and that pushed almost 400 million domestic, right? And that was Captain Marvel. You know, she kind of. But yeah, the only other family movie out there is Puss in Boots, and that's been out for 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
That
so
was a good
really
one.
the only fresh family movie is going to be Ant-Man. And it's a Marvel movie. So yeah, I think you're right, Ben. You're going to get the Marvel fans, and you're going to get those families in there.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Oh, and I don't know what it's like for other schools, but like even my daughter and wife, they have off. It's like school's off for like Friday and Monday, so people are getting extended weeks. Days this weekend. So that could really bump up the box office if that's happening in other schools in other areas.
Yeah,
what you gonna do with the day off? Go to a movie.
Yeah, I think to take it to the next level, you got to get repeat viewings though, and I think that's going to come down how good is the movie. If the movie's really good and you got people coming back a second, third time, that can push it way higher up. So
is it going to be something like the whole Spider-Man movie too, whereas the big reveal of the two of Toby and Andrew show up, once the word of that got out, everyone's like, "Oh, I need to see this."
Mm-hmm.
Would it be something like that?
So who do you
word
think
of mouth
has that kind of power to bring people back?
Hugh Jackman and the X-Men.
Look at him bringing his mic up close. Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But then we also
the great thing is with Spider-Man, we had the premise of I think they're gonna be in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a talk.
They teased us.
Yeah.
Now, but there's like
The anticipation of it.
talk. There's not even even in Spider-Man, the trailer, they digitally removed the other two Spider-Men when Tom was going towards the villain. Everyone locked that freeze frame.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Look, you can tell, like the Sandman got kicked in the face because he turned, and I'm like, they were analyzing that to death, and there hasn't been any shot in these trailers to analyze in that regard. So yeah, I don't know. I hope something's in it.
Yeah, because we have to keep in mind too, like comic book people might be really excited for it, but just thinking about it from casual standpoint, it's a very comic booky kind of movie, very sci-fi like, and that's not usually everybody's kind of jam and vibe with it. So that's something too. And remember the homework you got to do with Marvel projects now. Has everybody done their homework and caught up on all the TV shows and movies, or have some people kind of got off the Marvel train and now we got to get back on the Marvel train? So
when are we getting more What If episodes?
I've been off the What If train, so I don't even know what's happening.
I love the What If.
I know season 2 is confirmed, but I don't know when though.
You know when?
Yeah.
I think it's sometime later this year. I could be mistaken though.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's what I'm excited for.
All right, let me run through these comments here, and then we got one more question. We got Dennis saying, "I'm thinking this will make around 60 to 70 million. I say that because here in LA, it's really selling out on weekends." Well, yeah, but that's LA too, which usually is more of a bigger movie-going crowd, so that makes sense. Dennis saying AMC Premium in LA is a good indicator. All right. Dal saying, "Hey, Mama Blu-ray," and Dennis saying, "Huck is right here." Yep.
Come right here, baby.
Dennis saying, "Yeah, maybe even close to 80 million." Yeah, I think if it does 80 million, that'll be really great for that movie.
I mean, if it's any indication, Black Adam did 67 million.
Yeah.
And that was a character no one knows. And it just had the star power of The Rock. So, I mean, if that's
and Pierce Brosnan. So
right. I mean, who didn't love
Pierce Brosnan? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Pierce Brosnan. He's great.
Dell saying 8 for my excitement level as well. Yeah, Dennis saying, let's not forget families are going to this. Yeah. Total worldwide, I would say 850, but if it's a real good, it could go a little higher. Ooh, that's a good number. Definitely a good number. Dennis saying, "Good point, Ben Buster, a word of mouth surprise character, also known as Spider-Man, could boost this up." Yes, it could. Dennis saying, "Jonathan Majors being in Creed, if he's good here, people might appreciate performances by him." Absolutely. Amazing Anna saying, "Definitely to make money because of Valentine." See, I don't know about that Valentine's Day stuff because I felt like Valentine's Day weekend was last weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like it's this weekend coming up.
After the fact, it's after. Yeah.
Yeah, Amazing Anna saying, "It's also a 3 days weekend coming up though." Yeah, so that gives it a little bit more for that box office opening weekend. That is true. Might throw another 10 million there then. Amazing Anna says, "Man, if we had an AMC, we would totally abuse the movie pass." We already abused the limited pass.
Did we
away with that pass?
Oh my goodness.
Did we take into account the AMC price gouging for our thoughts on how much it was going to make?
Hell yeah!
Because if you're seeing certain seats at AMC, it's worth a lot more. So
yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see how that's going to play out. Like, is everybody still going to be in the middle, or are you just going to see like a big gap in the middle and everybody else around and the bottom filled up?
Like, I have a friend who likes sitting on the edges just because, like, I guess, I don't know, like, it's not uncommon to sit on the edges.
Anna loves the edges. Anna loves towards the bottom on the edges because like the railing, she can put her feet up. So, like, she loves
and I like the very top on the edge because then you can see everyone. So.
Yeah.
All right, last question here. We got, how does this movie change the MCU going forward? Ben Buster, how do you think this is going to change the MCU? Kicking off Phase 5 here. What are we thinking?
Obviously, we know this is setting up because of their announcement at San Diego Comic-Con about Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty and how those two pair off into each other, kind of like Infinity War and Endgame. So we know that this is going that far, but it will give us a little taste of what to expect, whet our mouths, whet our appetites for a little bit. But then it's like, okay, is everything going to tie into this, and how? Is it going to be just a character that ties into it from each movie going forward? Or is it an overlying team going forward that is going to be seen in it? This has to be stoked of what's to come in Secret War, whether they go, I know Benny's going to appreciate this, either they go the Doctor Doom route with that, or if they go the Maestro Secret War arc that's out. Yeah. Because remember,
Maestro.
the one person Edward Norton didn't get along with is now, his character's now dead in the MCU. So he's not going to be part of it. So Benny, for those of you that don't know, Maestro is Hulk, like super smart.
Yep.
They've already teased it with Professor Hulk. The from Professor Hulk going into Maestro, they've already teased it. So it's a perfect future villain for them to go.
Yeah, that'd be a great one.
All right, Benny, what are you feeling with this one?
So I feel like this is gonna be okay. So let me jump back. I feel like Phase 4 was all about introducing new characters that are gonna help push
Mm-hmm.
the next story points of Phase 5. So that's why I feel like this one's gonna help push rather than the new characters, the start of the story of Phase 5. So it might be the game changer of the beginning for this whole part of that they're leading up to. So I feel like this one's gonna actually hold a lot for what's gonna happen and for what's to come. Like you said, for Kang Dynasty's Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably, like I said, the start of everything to come.
All right, Last American Girl, what are you thinking?
What was the question?
Let me bring it up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how will this
Okay.
movie change the MCU going forward?
Well, an interesting point that I ended up making based on what you guys have been talking about is that there's the opposite of the first couple phases. So the first couple phases had a solid end with their respective Avengers movies, and this time we're going to have a solid beginning to Phase 5. And in having something of the scale that we keep being teased that is going to occur here, I think that's just going to open up a completely, like, it's going to starship everywhere. So universes everywhere, new timelines, new characters, but nothing altogether, I guess, is what I'm saying. That this is kind of them saving themselves from how there hasn't been a coherent plot line in a long time, and now the movies are going to be all standalone.
Jesse, what are you thinking?
For sure, I think we're going to see a new Ant-Man. And I do agree with Last American Girl that we're going to get like new timelines, but I wonder if we're going to end up getting one new major timeline that might kind of pick things like Ben Buster mentioned, small things to create like this new universe that we're going to go forward with, and we're going to see how things kind of tied in together.
All right, Huck, what are you thinking?
You know, Jesse, it almost sounds like you're talking about like a Flashpoint. You know, this sounds like, you know, the Flashpoint movie is
Definitely.
right. And then it could be that's what they're kind of hoping is, you know, I'm sure Feige has taken inventory of what he's done and where he is up until now and what he needs to start seeing from his IP again. And I think, yeah, all that could be good. I think we need an absolute banger of a character introduced. Look, we talked about maybe it's Galactus. Maybe you also get Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes out, you know, and you get a brand new Surfer. And then that, I mean, like, there's a connection between him and Doom and Fantastic Four. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm worried, Jesse, that you're saying that we're going to get a new Ant-Man, because I don't know what that would mean. I think you could be right, but you don't want to see our Scott Lang, that Paul Rudd version of Scott Lang, go away, because we need that version of him. We need that playful character, the one that shows up and he's enamored by Captain America and all those guys, and he's geeking out because he's the new guy in town. And for him to sort of become one of those guys and not be that anymore would be sad to miss that, because then who's going to take that place? You know, that's what makes him so charming and lovable. So yeah, I look forward to all these changes that we're talking about. I'm just saying there's got to be one big character. You can't just do all this and fight and open up a new universe without someone like Guardians has. We're getting Adam Warlock, right? I mean, that's
Warlock.
We need that. We need an Adam Warlock to show up in this movie, something like that. Maybe it's Doom. Maybe it's Doctor.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get that big of a character. I feel like really this movie is just about opening up Kang the Conqueror to the rest of the world. but I almost want the movie to kind of shrink some stuff to where, because I'm getting a little bit like too much with all the different variants and all the time
Yeah,
travel and multi dimensions and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like they might have seen how that kind of lost some audiences along the way in Phase 4. So I almost want them to kind of pull back a little bit on that to give us more kind of a little bit more straightforward of a story so we know what's actually happening. So hopefully I feel like if they're introducing a new character, a big character, fine, but don't overdo it too much, right? And then let's get King the Conqueror. He's the main villain. He's like the new Thanos or whatever. But I don't know. I don't want to see like a million variants. I don't want to see like an Ant-Man variant and like, oh my, I'm just gonna get super confused with all that. So
well,
like,
Mike, get ready for a bunch of different variants of Kang showing up. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
wrap my mind around one kind of Kang.
Let it go, Mike. Let it go.
Let it go. You've already seen in the trailer. You've seen one in Loki. You've seen another. Get ready for at least another 5.
Oh, 5 more. Oh my.
And look, let's just also remember it's an Ant-Man movie. Make sure he is the star of this movie. If he takes a back seat and he becomes a side character to Kang, I'm out. That's and I think that fans are going to be pissed too. Like if fans don't get their Ant-Man love, like I'm going because I love him and Wasp and those guys. And if he takes a back seat, and he's the B story, that's not gonna go well.
Yeah, you gotta have it be an Ant-Man story. Just like even though Civil War had a lot of different characters, I still felt by the end of it was a Captain America story.
Yeah,
hopefully they do the same thing. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give everybody a chance to kind of close out here. Say anything else they want to the audience, promote their channels in any way, let us know what's coming up. So let's start with Ben Buster. Take it away.
All right. According to the D23, the official Disney fan club, they say the 5 things you have to watch before Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is Ant-Man, obviously, Captain America: Civil War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers: Endgame, and Loki season 1. So, so I mean, it's not much to watch. I mean, we've pretty much all see. It's pretty much. Yeah, watching the Ant-Man movies, watching what Ant-Man's in, and then, here's Loki, because you need to know who Kang is. So it's pretty much that way. And for me, I obviously have my Walmart Wednesday video coming up next week, Wednesday. It's something a little different because of Valentine's Day, so I'm just putting that out there. And I have another rewind coming out towards the week after on Love Potion number 9. So stay tuned for that stuff.
That's a song, right? Love Potion.
Potion number 9.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. It's one of my favorites. Has Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ben Buster is like the Sandra Bullock go-to person. So all right, Benny, what do we got going on, and where can people find you?
Well, I'm mainly on Instagram, but it's really not too much. I don't really post often, but if you would like to follow me, it's B to the Bennyth power. Other than that, just hit that subscribe button below, hit that like button below, and follow everybody else. They're all fantastic people.
All right, Last American Girl, what do we got going on?
I'm really tired today. Let's think. I'm excited to announce that my sister and I will be starting our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It'll be about concerts. So if you guys know me or you've heard me talk about the shows I've been to, we're always at the front, we're always in the pit, and we actually have a lot to share about those experiences. And especially, I think the focus is venue reviews. I know a lot of times whenever we go to a show, we kind of want to know how early should we get there, or what are we going to do and all of that. So that's kind of going to be the focus of it. And our first episode is going to be the Harry Styles show. So make sure you so Hopefully it'll all be started by the next show, so I'll have more information from then on.
Yeah, Last American Girl. You're gonna have to send me your YouTube channel link, and then I'll get it in the description for everybody. But that's super exciting. Starting
I
YouTube.
know.
Congratulations. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Jesse, what do we got going on?
Well, thank you again so much for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I loved everybody's energy once again. Super hyped for the Ant-Man movie because of this. I post creative gaming variety content on my YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Jessie May J. You can see right here, spelled the same way. And recently, I've also been going to like restaurants and doing food reviews, so that's been fun too.
All right, and then Hollywood Huck. What do we got going on?
Nice.
What did we just have going on right before the stream?
Oh my god, yeah. So we just finished our trivia, guys. Go to my channel, Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. Over there, we do lots of fun stuff, like the trivia that was literally 15 minutes before jumping on this show. It's an all love fest over there. It was a Valentine's Day episode with 4 excellent couples. Get over there, check it out. You'll see who's in it in the thumbnails. Mike, thanks for letting me be on here. This is always a lot of fun. Glad I still had some energy left for it. Before I forget, I am doing another show Thursday night over at Convicted Cinephile. We are doing the 80s Best Picture Nominees Tournament, where we go through all the nominees of the 80s and determine which one should have been the ultimate winner. May I just say, no, I'll save it. I have to save my opinion for the show. Yeah, and I do other fun stuff too. I do customizations of your collections, Blu-ray hunts. And yeah, hey, I hit 3K this week. It just
Hey.
I'm so excited. I was expecting it to come a little bit slower, like next week, and then all of a sudden, like 2 days ago, it was already at 3 when I woke up. I'm like, oh, well, damn. I guess I got to get a show ready. I was hoping to have a little bit more time, but yeah. So maybe be on the lookout in the next week or so. I'll do a 3K show and have some fun people on.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much, my panel members, for bringing in your awesome knowledge of Ant-Man and comics and just your love for the MCU. This has been a lot of fun. Audience, thank you so much for participating tonight, leaving all those comments. Those super chats were absolutely fantastic. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. And then for my channel, I'm always posting different physical media topic videos and physical media news. I got some unboxings coming up here soon as well. Of course, we're going to be doing a post-game show of Ant-Man once we all go see, Ant-Man sometime this weekend, hopefully. We'll definitely have a recap and a post-game show for that. So stay tuned for that live show coming up next week. And then for Valentine's Day tomorrow, because I love my fans just so much out there, there's actually going to be a coupon on my merch store. It should be, I believe, 25% off all mega merch. So if you need to get a gift there for your significant other for Valentine's Day, definitely going to want to check that out. I mean, everybody's going to want the Mega Mike stuff fair. Absolutely. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining in here. And hopefully you'll go see Ant-Man 3 and have a great time with them. Hoping we all have that as well. But have a great night for all. Have a good one.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Go see Ant-Man.